Hi, Angela here, and we are back to work on our altered board book journal. So, my desk is a total whopping mess. Oh my goodness. It's okay though. I'm going to survive. Oh. So, where are we? I get a few things off of here that I don't need. That one I think I can use as an art page. Okay, so what do I have here? I have all kinds of goodies here to use. So I have trimmed the edges of the book, and I'm just getting ready to sand them down just slightly, just to even it out a little bit. Now when you sand around these places that are kind of plasticky now from the collage mediums and the gel mediums, they will get the modeling paste, whatever you call it. It can peel off your work, so you have to be careful. I trimmed it as close as I could, but now I just need to give it just a little sanding. So I brought along, this one's coarse, but I've used it a lot. So I'm going to go ahead and use it. I'm just going to quickly go around the edges and get any of the major pieces off. And just even it up. And that is as simple as that. Okay. Okay. And now I'm going to go around the edge with my archival vintage photo and maybe ground espresso. Both colors I absolutely love. I love the espresso colors. They're a little darker, so I think it might do a little better than this one. But first I'm going to go with this one. Now, archival means that they're waterproof. So once they're here, they're here. So I like that better. I just got these in the mail today, so I was glad they showed up to use on this piece of art. Or on this book, whatever you want to call it. And I'm just going to go around the corners a little bit and vintage it up. And let's see here. Now, I'm probably not going to put fabric on the cover of this. I don't think. I mean, I could change my mind. I got something caught in there. Well, I'm going to leave it for right now, if I can. We'll see if I can leave it alone. So, yeah, it's got a lot of stuff kind of still needs to be brushed off of it. And it's just leftovers from the inks. And it's still a little damp. A little bit sticky. And I think that is from, I put the Stains by Patty Pockets over the top. I love how it feels with it on there, but I wonder if it gave it too much of a plasticky feel. Okay, I peeled that off there because I couldn't wait. So I'm just going to vintage that up right there. And wipe it down in before it dries. Anyway, over here, There's just a little bit of stuff peeling from the, oh, it's the Winkostella is what it is. So that could be a problem. Maybe mixing it with the ink wasn't a good idea. But we'll just take this and go in here and darken it back up. So it may be, I think mixing it with the with this embossing glaze is what did it. So probably heating it up and stuff like that, it made it kind of peel. So, experiments. Let me get some stuff off of here. Yep, onto the floor it goes. I know, it's a terrible thing. But that's what the vacuum cleaner's for, to clean that up. Okay, so we are ready to move to the inside of the book. We're not going to finish the outside yet. I want to work on the inside now for a while and save this for last, because otherwise it might start peeling, and then when we're all done, we'll go back over this with a sealer of some kind and see if we can seal all that in. So, clean off your inside pages of junk from the outside pages. Okay. Now, like I said, this is a journal, so we want to keep it like a journal, which means we need some writing space and things like that. I do have some of these. I may want to incorporate maybe like some of the designs into here. These are, like I had said yesterday, these are prints that I made that were no good. They were for practicing to see how my digital looked once it was printed out. So you can see, you go through tons of papers. And this is like a first trial when I first put it down before I added any other designs into it. So it's rather plain. And this one is after I added the bees' nest to the background. That really helped a lot. So in here I'm darkening up the bees' nest and bringing out the words a little more. And this one's just how it looked with that background. I had a little hard time with these flowers over here, getting them to all come forward, and so I have several of that one too, as I worked on getting that paper to work correctly. And like this one, it was just too dark all the way around. The birds were too dark, but the stamps look good all together, so that is something that we can utilize over here in the board book. Anyway, just trying to use some of those up, because no sense in keeping them like that. Now I thought I could incorporate something like this because we could write on it. And then maybe here's a whatever you call it, a receipt. And we have envelopes and old documents. These are copies of old documents. These are on my Etsy site. Dogwood Paper Arts. Here's another one. Oh, that's the back of it, because it was sent as a letter. So I sent the back too. Sent. I added the back too. And the other thing that we could use is maybe I did get some of this today that I ordered from scrapbooking.com. It's a pretty thick paper, so I don't know. Not that side, definitely. Like this is what I was thinking of, this old school. This would look nice in here, but I'm a little concerned about the thickness of the paper. So maybe that one is out. Let's see what else we have. I know I have some thin paper. If I could just remember which one it was in. Oh, I think it's this one. Like this. That's very nice. And that's good. That'd be a good page. But I'm looking for this one. Now, I know I cut some of this one yesterday. And so I might have a piece of it that will fit in here. If I look around me, oh, here it is. So we could put some of this down here. Well, I'm going to start over here. I was trying to decide whether or not to gesso over that first. I think I'm going to try just laying the paper down and seeing how it does. I don't want to use the stains or the collage medium in here because we wouldn't be able to write on it. It would just be a rubber book, kind of like a rubber book. I think we will gesso, and the reason is because of this line here is going to really show. That's modeling paste. What did I do with it? Oh, there it is. Here we go. Ooh, okay, bear with me. I'm going to tap this on the table. It's going to be loud. This is how I get my jars to open. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh, it just breaks this seal of paint and stuff that forms up there on the top. And yeah, I do that all the time, so it's just the noise they hear down here when I'm painting and stuff. Okay, so let's go ahead and paint this, and then we can put ink down the center there if we need to. This board book does not have too many pages in it, so it wouldn't be a giant journal when you're done. But it is large, so it would have a lot of writing space in it. Okay, I'm going to put that in my water and let it just soak in there. And seal back up my gesso. I know I should clean it off. But I'm working right now, so. Okay, you ready? Have our own little workshop. That'd be so cool. So, now like I said, we want to be able to write on this, so we don't want to put the plasticky stuff on top of it, because basically that's what this does, is it forms kind of a plastic seal on it. You know, it's a gel, and they form kind of a, well, you can see they get a little shiny, and so, okay, now paper. I think we will go ahead and start the inside of this one with this paper here. Now, we need to do something about the center right here. It's a little too white, stark white. So I'm going to take my brush. This is a fat brush, and I'm just, these tend to leave spots unless you start off to the edge, and then they will cover a little bit better, but otherwise they leave a kind of a dot. But it's not going to matter right here anyway. The gesso's not quite dry right there. That's why it's getting kind of sticky. Okay, so there was that. I think we'll try a little bit of the distressing ink. It should spread a little bit better. Yeah. Okay. And the other thing that we could do would be to go around these edges, just in case the white, you know, our paper doesn't get close enough to the edge. That'll cover up that white, stark white there. And then we'll go back over it again. This is the ground espresso. It's a little darker than the vintage, and I really like that. A little bit darker than the vintage photo one. But I do love vintage photo with my books. Okay. See a piece of paper I didn't get off there. Put that back in the egg cup. Get my towel and wipe away the debris from my brush. Not my brush, but my ink dauber. Okay, now writing paper. Something to think about with these is perhaps you want to have some papers going one way and some going another. So in other words, oh. Is that one too thick? Yeah, that one's pretty thick. It might be okay. This is a family stack, which means it's like family tree stuff. But there's a very pretty page there. And I kind of like to try and put it with this because of the green color. Oh, what's that? Oh, it's my other paper. I think I can put them together, but I'm going to either tear or use the tearing ruler and give this a good edge, a good torn edge. So it'll be kind of like a collage on there. I think we'll go right about here. This is ledger sheet behind here. Is what it's depicting back here. And so here's this. And let's see, do we want it to go all the way down? Let me take off that top part. Since it's thicker, I want to put it on top of this one. But I didn't leave enough space there. So let's take a look here. We can still utilize that for something else. I think it's this one needs to be bigger. Let's see. We have that. I kind of like the numbers to show. So let's see how big this one is. I'm pretty much leaving it solid on this side. It's just because of the closure of the book. I want it to be able to close properly. So I want to put this right here, and I want to tear this one down right about there. So what I'm going to do is kind of line that up because I've only got 2 papers there. I was thinking about adding, we'll probably maybe add something else to it. But we want to tear down this line right here. Maybe just this side of it, because I kind of wanted those numbers to show. Oh boy, this needs to be wiped down big time. Okay, I think that will work. So we'll need to, I kind of like these numbers down here too. I'm going to try and tear just a little off this end. Just a little bit. So I'm going to put the ruler on this tiny side. Just like that. And I'm going to press firmly and try and really hold that down. It's a little crooked, but it's okay. Remember, we're going to sand around the edges whenever we need to. And that will help us get it all put in place. I mean, you could do them on the inside. You know, we can always fill this hole in with something. That's not a problem. It's all paper. So if we were to, let's just leave this up like this and see what we can do to fix it. Okay, we have to tear this one. Let's see where the tear ruler lands. Right above the 22 there. That's what I love about graph paper. Is we get lines. Yay! Okay, so we know we have a little hole down here. And we also know that we have a little piece of paper that we can use. Because we just tore an extra one off. So if we need to, we can put something extra right on here. Maybe right there, we could tear a little piece and put there. You know, I love the little tiny torn pieces. especially if they have words on them. Okay, so I'm going to use art glitter glue if it works. The collage medium would work underneath the paper. Might probably be a good place to use it. I just don't want anything to turn rubbery. So we could put it underneath and that would take up a larger space. We wouldn't want to use the vintage on this one. Now, I'm not concerned about my edges yet. We will be. But if we don't need to ink something, we won't ink it. If we're going to end up hiding it anyway underneath a piece of paper, then no sense in inking that one. Okay, I'm just going to start from the top and work my way down so that hopefully we avoid a bunch of air bubbles and stuff in there. And I'll work my way back up. Now really, that doesn't look too bad there with the paper coming up against this part of the board book. But if it does bother you, then I would just find a little tiny piece of paper that will work for you. It doesn't bother me. It actually kind of goes well, but we may put something in there. It may end up bothering me. Let's get the other page on it and then we'll decide. Was it this one? Okay, now like I said, we have this edge over here that we do not want to go over. So you can see it kind of pushes it out about 1/8 of an inch here from this side of the board book, of the page where the page turns, the spine. So we'll need to tear just a little off the top. Oh, I tore a little off the top. I guess I better ink that so I can see it better. Duh. Oh, yeah, we do want to ink this one anyway. Now, I haven't broke off the bottom yet. I do want to ink this side because it's going up against that and I won't be able to ink it once it's in there. I can use my brush on it, but like I said, the brush kind of leaves that distress, leaves those circle movements. So to avoid that, okay, we're going to just put that right against there. I can see it doesn't quite come over, but I think it's okay, really. Really it is. We could go to there, but we would definitely have to put something under there. How did I tear that so crooked? I don't know. I didn't line it up is what I didn't do. Let's see. Now that one might be better if we line this up. If I were to line it up this time, right there, to right, I don't really care if this part's crooked. you know, if it's smaller up here and fatter down here, that does not bother me. I mean, perhaps you'd want to tear it at kind of an angle here. Let's hope that one works better. There we go, that's better. Lots better. Okay, now let's take that top part off. And then we'll come down here and decide where we want the bottom to come off at, which is between right there and right there. Tear ruler, please. Thank you. Dr. Paperlot, please hand me the tear ruler. Yes, Dr. Scrapbook. Has anybody seen Dr. Journal today, please? Journaling, huh? Okay. That's right, he had a week off to journal. So, what would your doctor name be if you were a doctor of craftology? I would be, oh, I think I would be Dr. Craft-A-Lot, or wouldn't be Scrapbook necessarily. Dr. Journal Maker. I'll be Dr. Journal Maker. Who would you be? Oh. It's like when we were kids, we'd eat the M&Ms, and as we ate the M&Ms, we'd turn into different animals. You know how it is when you're a kid. Anything can be fun, including eating M&Ms, and always being able to be, you know, your favorite animal. Of course, it always turned kind of violent, you know. One of us always was like a tiger or an alligator or whatever. Maybe not an alligator, but somebody always got to be the big bad one that ate the others, and if they didn't make it back up on the couch in time to change their M&M color to become something else. Okay. Alright, this paper is quite a bit thicker than this one. That's why I wasn't too concerned about how I laid it down, because it was going to lay down as one whole piece anyway. Oh boy, I scraped the edge there with my tool. Be better to go in with the soft edge. That'll get covered up anyway. See, and I didn't want to go around that edge like that with that dauber. Okay, so there is our first page. Let's go back over here now. Now that I've done that first page, I feel better. Okay, this page. Perhaps we're going to, maybe we're just going to collage this one a little bit. Maybe we're going to put some of these right down here. And then what else do I have? I know I have a lot of paper that is, what's this one? Oh, this is that same one. Oh, I know I have a lot of thin papers. This is that heirloom stack. So here's a good one. Oh, look at this. We could even just leave the bird on there and do it as a whole sheet if we wanted. But we do have, oh, I kind of like that as a whole sheet, don't you? Yeah. So let's take some off the bottom. That's the thing about, you know, making a journal, a regular journal, a writing journal out of a board book is there's not many pages. And if it's going to be a writing journal, you know, really it's fairly easy and quick to do. And depends on how much work you want to put into the edges. Now, if I tear the other part of this, actually putting it down here at the base would actually look good. So we may do that too. Okay, let's go back up here to the top. Now I can see that this page is torn pretty straight. So we want to go up to here. We're going to leave this part on there. So this one will go from here to here to there. I want to save that longer piece if I can. Oh, well, should I tear along that edge or not? I'm going to leave it straight. Okay, so we have a line there and a line there. So let's follow that line. Why not? This will give us a nice piece to use somewhere else. Okay, now we can come back up here and take a look at the top. So it's going to come off right along this line. And what did I do with my pencil? Just going to mark that line. And it's just above that little line. I'm walking my fingers down the ruler. Oh, but I still tore it wrong. That's okay. We just have a space there. That's okay. I don't mind the edges showing up a little bit. So what we'll do after we get it all, get our papers in, is we'll go over it with our ink and that'll age it back up. You know, where we have little spots showing and stuff showing. But I am going to go ahead and get these right now so that I get the white edge of the papers. So this is not a tutorial on this. I talk like it is, but it's really not. I am probably just going to do a couple pages here with you, and then I will come back to this as I feel like working on it. So it's not something I'm going to work on constantly, but I will bring it back for you to see when it's done. Now the other thing that we could have done here to help this is we could have put a little bit of washi tape along there, and we could still do that on here. So we might do that to just help keep that a little more secure there, but we don't want to build it up too much here, so it would have to be a pretty flat washi tape. I think I want to go this side to that side. If it goes over the top, then what we'll do is we'll come back and fix it with an extra piece of paper. But it looks kind of cool this way, don't you think? And we'll come back and trim up the edges and sand them, whatever we need to do. Kind of the neat thing about the glue under there, because it dries so quickly, you can see things back there and it looks like handwriting, but it's not. It's just the swirls of the glue that made that little bitty design in the paper. And this is a thin paper, but it looks really cool. It looks like some sort of a cursive handwriting back in there, which is very, very neat. Okay, there's our first 2 pages. So, something else that I thought of that I would like to do in this journal is to grab my Edwardian lady. I have a poetry book somewhere too, but I didn't pick out a poem. But this is just something that I like to do, is to find a page where she's writing, like this. There's March. Ooh, that has some pretty birds in it. Let me see if I can find one that has words on both sides. Sometimes she has a page with words on both sides. Okay. Oh. No, if we get it. But I didn't have much snow this year. I sure was glad to see it though, when we did have it. We had a nice icy morning this morning. It was kind of a freezing fog type of thing. So, oh, somebody's here. I can't answer the door because I'm doing a video. Maybe my husband's out there, I hope. Oh, it's UPS. Okay, so we'll just put that right there. There. Now I feel like I can take some of that other word. Seated in the great armchair. A wrinkle-crabbed man seated in thy great armchair. I like that. Upon a shaggy bearded goat he rode. I'm going to put that up there. And we're going to use this. Who was that wrinkled, crabbed man? I don't know. Don't know who he was, but he was crabbed. It needs a love thing with it. A wrinkled, crabbed man seated in thy great armchair. Christmas comes but once a year. That wrinkled, crabbed man is probably Santa after Christmas. So, here we go. So, I think of somebody with an old cane, and my husband's walking around out there hearing. So anyway, there we go. Now, the other thing you can do if you want is you can take your stencil, because we did this on the front, and you can put some of it down in here if you want. Sorry, it'd be better to use the brush. I think the little one works a little better. I don't know where my little one is. There it is. This one still has ickies in it from earlier. These little makeup brushes work great for these stencils. They get right in there in all those little cracks and crevices, and you can put down a pretty nice looking thing. So anyway, you can see there's a lot you can do with these. You can put it down over this part where we put the poem if you want. Let's see what it looks like. You do want to get these with a good solid handle. They do, otherwise they do break. And that can be frustrating if you're going along and all of a sudden your handle breaks off. This one feels like one of the weaker sets. So I might even show you what the experience is like. Not that I want to. There. I think that looks kind of cool. Yeah. And you could use different colors if you wanted to, or whatever. So you can see how nice that looks. So it is a little harder to close. I can definitely tell that I've glued something else in there that has made that area smaller. So this book will end up having to get crushed every night that I'm done working in it, and so that it will lay flat. But like I said, it's just going to be a journal, and it will be just a place for somebody to write when it's done. And we'll find better words than a wrinkled, crabbed man we'll find some poems and stuff to put in there, or some heartfelt hippity-yoo-haws. So we have page 1 and 2 done. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. It's a pretty good sized book. 23, 24. I love this book. 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. 32 pages for a journal. I mean, and it's like a page a day for 1 month. So if you're a monthly journal keeper, find a board book like this and create a journal out of it. And, you know, you have 32 days to write in it instead of 30, 31. Have your own kind of leap years, extra years, whatever you want to call them. Okay, well, thanks for joining me on this. And as I work on it, I will show you little peeks and stuff until it gets done. You can see how fairly simple this is to work in a book like this. Think what it would take with a 5-page little, a 6-page little square book, you know, 4x4 or 6x6. It'd be done in a split second. And you could turn that into a, I don't know, a little greeting thing for somebody that, you know, like a birthday greeting card or something. Be kind of cool. Okay, well, thanks for joining me. And, oh, do you want a closer look? Okay. So there's our poetry. And our bird. Over here we have our dual page. There. And then our front cover. Which looks like that. Hard to see. Anyway, there we go. All right, thanks for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Bye.